This is an excerpt from my book, The 7 Doors of True Healing. I'm Trent Nelson of Infinite Healing. And again, the book, The 7 Doors of True Healing, can be ordered from my website, www.lulu.com/Trent Inspires. This is Door 1, Chapter 1, Forgiveness Training. To not forgive is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. This quote, and I don't know who originated it, was taught to me about 10 years ago, and at the time I found it overwhelmingly profound, and I still do. In other words, to not forgive someone who you've perceived has wronged you is useless and hurts the person who refuses to forgive, not the person who's being judged against. Judgments made by you don't hurt others. They hurt you. Forgiveness is the single most beneficial psychological activity there is. From one point of view, it's the only necessary activity of the mind, and it will save you from all sickness, problems of any kind, including relationship problems, money problems, anger problems, or spiritual problems. Without forgiveness, we have stuck energy, repetitions, and frustration in life. Why is forgiveness so important then, and how does it work? Most likely, you have memories of people and events you haven't forgiven. Because you haven't forgiven those people in your life, your family, your lovers, your past business partners, you create psychological problems for yourself that look like the tendency to have repetitious interactions and events. Repetitions are repeating thoughts, actions, and outcomes. These repetitions take the form of problems in relationships, with loved ones, repeating cycles of success and failure, symptoms, illness and disease in your body, emotional stuckness, days and nights consisting of the same behavior and consequently the same outcomes. Most people are in a constant state of gathering more and more judgments, and judgments need forgiveness. Judgments also add weight to your emotions and body and consciousness. So forgiveness needs to be a daily activity, a constant activity, with more important results than any other program you could ever involve yourself in at any gym or while being on any diet. This is why it's so important to accept everything that happens and everyone you interact with in your daily life and even in your mind. Why? Because judgments are the basic root of all problems. Judgments are what separate you from your divine nature and the experience of your divinity or your whole self. This means that you're going to, at some point, because you've picked up this book, it's most likely soon, you're going to need to look at your mind, which can be fun, and is definitely necessary and provides infinite rewards. The need to forgive is caused by judging people, things, activities, and events in your life. As you walk down the street, as you talk with your family, if you argue with your spouse, as you engage with people at the drugstore, you are most likely in a state of judging things whether you know it or not. This is true because the mind is always at work, always observing, and always thinking. You definitely want to examine your thinking because your thinking is causing your day-to-day life and the outcomes and experiences of your life. It's estimated that there are some 600,000 thoughts that you think every day. Every one of these precious gems is causing an outcome, creating and weaving the fabric of your life into a garment you wear daily. The thoughts that lead to experiences that don't please you need acceptance. All of your thoughts need acceptance. If you judge the thinking and the results that you currently have, then you have a double problem. So forgiveness is the activity of going into your mind, looking at the people and events of your past, and somehow seeing the perfection of these events in your mind and accepting everything about them. I'm sorry if that sounds difficult, because I know that there are many people who run their life based on the negativity of events that have happened to them in their past. You perceive someone has hurt your feelings, or you were wronged in some way, and the anger and hurt from that gives you fuel for your life, you think. The truth is that if everything, and I do mean everything, that happened to you in your past didn't happen, you might not be here right now. It's true. Even when you look back on horrible incidents and people you think were awful to you, if those people hadn't been in your life at that exact moment, doing that exact activity, you might have been hit by a bus the next day. Some major catastrophe could have fallen you or your family. You never know. It becomes a matter of trusting that your past was perfect. Now, that doesn't mean you necessarily want it to happen the same way that it did before. Since you're a wonderful person now, what has happened to you in the past must have had some value also, even if it was traumatic and difficult to deal with at the time. People need to arrive at this place if they expect to become successful. People who are successful, who have happiness, who have the relationships they want, have the money they want, either they were raised and conditioned to have that going on in their life at that level, which not all of us had, or they're rebellious and simply countering the teaching that they received growing up, which also includes a certain amount of frustration, fear, or anger. Or they've mastered forgiveness and exude a kind of peaceful aliveness that includes a centeredness that comes from knowing that the universe is perfect. This is an excerpt from my book, The 7 Doors of True Healing, which can be ordered online at www.lulu.com/Trent Inspires. Thank you for watching my video.